Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful and honestly surprisingly simple tool for cooling down our cities. We're going to see how it all works by following someone through a single sweltering day, and we'll uncover a solution that, well, it might just be growing right outside your door.
I want you to think about that for a second. What if the temperature on your block was consistently, even dangerously, hotter than a neighborhood just a mile away? For a whole lot of people living in cities, this isn't some hypothetical question. It's their everyday reality. So, to really get this, let's dive into what a typical summer day feels like in Baltimore. We're going to follow a resident named Maya, and through her story, we're going to uncover a much, much bigger picture about our cities and the heat. Okay, so it's only 8 in the morning, but the air in Maya's apartment is already thick, sticky. She's got this old window AC unit that's rattling away, and she just knows that running it all day is going to mean a huge electricity bill. But what's the alternative? Trying to live your life in a room that feels more like an oven? And look at this. That's the forecast high for the day, 94 degrees. Now, for Maya, that number isn't just about being uncomfortable. It means her walk to the bus stop is actually risky because the heat isn't just coming from the sun, it's bouncing right back up from the asphalt and the concrete all around her. So as she's walking, the sun is just relentless. There's no relief, no break. Not even one tree to stand under for a second. The sidewalk, the buildings, the street itself, everything is just radiating heat. And this makes you wonder, right? Why? Why is her neighborhood so much hotter than other parts of town? Well, it turns out the answer isn't just about the weather. It's about the very stuff her neighborhood is built out of. The answer is in this phenomenon that basically creates these invisible heat maps all across our cities, trapping warmth in some places while others get to stay relatively cool. And this is it. It's called the urban heat island effect. It sounds kind of technical, but the idea is actually super simple. All those dark surfaces, think asphalt roads, dark rooftops, they soak up the sun's energy all day long, and then they just radiate it back out, warming up all the air around them. But here's the kicker. This doesn't happen evenly everywhere. Some neighborhoods get hit way, way harder. And this isn't just a theory. Look at this data from Baltimore. On average, neighborhoods with very few trees are a full 7 degrees hotter in the summer. 7 degrees. That is a huge difference. And the reason for it? Well, it's surprisingly simple. Well, here it is. This is the whole story right here. Maya's neighborhood has a tree canopy of just 10%. The cooler neighborhood just a few miles away, 45%. And this massive gap in green space doesn't just create heat islands, it leads to something called energy inequality, where people in the hotter neighborhoods are forced to spend way more on electricity just to stay safe and cool. So, if a lack of trees is the problem, then it seems pretty obvious that trees are also the solution, right? And it turns out they are one of the most elegant and, frankly, effective natural air conditioners we have. Let's break down exactly how they pull it off. It's basically a 1-2 punch. First, the obvious one, shade. A good tree canopy can lower the temperature of the ground underneath it by a staggering 20 to 45 degrees. I mean, wow. But they also do something else pretty amazing. They actively cool the air through a process called evapotranspiration, which is a fancy way of saying that trees sweat. They release water vapor, and that process literally pulls heat out of the air. So they're not just passive umbrellas, they are active, living cooling engines for a whole neighborhood. Okay, so this brings us right back to that Baltimore study, because the researchers, and this is the best part, they didn't just diagnose the problem and walk away. They actually created a real data-driven plan to fight the heat with clear, achievable goals. They created an actual roadmap. And this is so important. Instead of just a vague, hey, let's plant more trees idea, they set specific data-backed targets for different types of land, residential areas, commercial strips, public parks. It's a smart strategic path to cooling the city fairly, making sure the benefits really go where they're needed the most. And this is really the heart of the matter, right? This strategy isn't just about making things look prettier. This is a direct shot at improving public health, creating more social equity, and giving people real economic relief. We're talking lower electricity bills, fewer heat-related illnesses, and just plain safer communities. So let's circle back to Maya. Let's imagine a future where these targets are actually met in her neighborhood. What does her day look like then? What's the real human payoff of a plan like this? In this future, Maya's walk to the bus stop is actually comfortable, shaded by a whole canopy of trees.
Her apartment is naturally cooler, which eases the strain on her air conditioner and her wallet. And the streets, which used to be empty and oppressive in the afternoon heat, are now alive with neighbors out and about, with kids playing. And this just shows you the payoff perfectly. It's not just a cooler neighborhood, it's a more vibrant, more connected, and healthier community. Which kind of leaves us with one big final thought. You know, in our hunt for all these complex, high-tech solutions to the climate challenges our cities are facing, maybe we've been overlooking the most effective one. It's quiet, it's elegant, and it's been perfecting this job for millions of years. Could it be that the simplest solution is growing right outside our doors?